What's up, GT gang? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm Mojo GT, and today we're going to start off with the Bible verse before we get started into this video. So we're going to start with Proverbs 20:18. Plans succeed through good counsel. Don't go to war without wise advice. Do your research, talk to people that have been in the shoes that you have been, and you will find great success. I hope you guys really enjoy the video. Thank you so much for clicking on it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and you know what? Drop a Bible verse down below that you want me to read that I can read to the next video. See you at the end. What's up, GT gang? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm Mojo GT. That's Paul. And today we are going to be working on the Charger once again. We're actually buttoning up the exhaust. This is where we're at. If you didn't watch the video of us installing this exhaust and kind of fitting everything, it is truly one of a kind, one of one exhaust setup for this car. So I'm extremely excited for it. It's 100% stainless steel, and I'm really excited. So let's go ahead and get with this unboxing. As you can see, I already opened this up because what's in here, as you know by the title, is a set of 3-inch electric cutouts for the Charger. And as you can already tell, I have those out, which means I'm planning on putting these right around here. So obviously you can tell the box is already open. It's because I knew that the Chinesium bolts that they were going to send me were not going to be up to Mojo specs. So I went ahead and dropped almost $50 on stainless hardware. Let's go ahead and unbox this. Woo! Man, that's nice. Little turn down action. V-band. Dual action, baby. Huge V-band clamps. Yeah, these are way bigger than mine. Oh yeah, it's very nice. Yes, very nice. Chinesium. All right, guys, picking up right where we left off. As you can see, we have some wiring. We'll start with these. These are 304, I believe, 304 stainless. Pretty much what all my other exhaust is. So it's gonna weld really nicely. Welds look pretty good. I looked at this one earlier and I didn't see any holes or nothing. So we'll inspect everything, of course, because that's what we do. These flanges seem nice. I hope that they are good stainless as well. V-band clamps, of course. And I noticed this hardware came with nuts as well, so I bought nuts, of course. And these are threaded, so I'm assuming that you put a nut on the backside to kind of lock the bolt in place so it doesn't wiggle itself out, which is pretty good that they thought of that. And of course, if you're running cutouts, you gotta have turn downs, so we're gonna do our absolute best to make this fit as best as we possibly can. I'll be completely honest with you guys, I'm not 100% sure if this is going to fit or not. So we have exhaust gaskets, we have some wiring, and this is the actual actuator itself. So you put 12 volts to this and it actuates. It just opens the valve. It's just a butterfly valve, just like a throttle body. See? Seems pretty nice actually, and it's got set screws here. I'll tighten these up a little bit before we get started. I might take one out and do some anti-seize on that bad boy, lock it in, or maybe some Loctite. But anyway, as you can see, we got a rubber boot on here. I'm pretty pleased with that. Obviously, whatever's in this one's going to be in this one, so I won't waste your time with that. Will like to note that it's got a key fob, which is pretty cool. So you can open and close these away from the car. This is supposed to just plug right into your car, and obviously wired in with 12 volts. And I'm going to modify this to where it's just wired in, hardwired. Obviously, I have to have this, but we'll try to hardwire this best we can and go from there. Honestly, it's really simple. We're just going to cut this off and hardwire it right into our distribution center. So we obviously have to keep this. So let's go ahead, get started, get all those pipes underneath the car, and see how well these fit. Alright, so I measured from my face, which would be the face on the exhaust in the car, to where I need to put my cutout, to where I need to put this end of the cutout. So I measured that at 10.5 inches, measured from here to here, 10.5 inches. And I don't have any fancy tools to make a mark, but what I do have is a nice straight piece of sandpaper. So a little hack there. Line up your mark and get your sandpaper to overlap perfectly, and your line will be perfect every single time. Boom. Now, instead of what you may think, I do not make that cut. Because if we make that cut, then we have to put this in the vise, and then cut it again. So what we do, take our cutout. Cutout's gonna lay like this. Looks like my cutout is gonna be right in front of my old hanger. So I'm gonna make that mark that with sandpaper, and then we'll know what to cut out. So what I did want to add was I did with the other one, it actually really helped, is I put top in the same orientation, because we're actually going to use this pipe again. So unfortunately, the way this sits is we're gonna have to cut this out of this pipe. It's just kind of how it is. On the other one, it was 1.5 inches longer, so we moved it 1.5 inches farther back. So 12 inches, 12 and a half, 12 and a quarter, something like that. But it put us past the hanger, so I just cut the hanger out with the last piece. So where this one sits, I can't do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this with the sandpaper, cut it out, let's get it. Okay, so I really didn't want to bore you guys with all the crap I had to go through. So here's what we end up having to do. Probably hard to see, but I have everything bolted in. I didn't want to show the welding process. Pretty simple. You're going to have it welded in, of course. Whether you weld on V-band clamps and use those, I actually don't think it's going to clear on the side with the cutout with the Y. So I would recommend just getting them welded in. I did watch a couple videos, and some people said that they had issues with these gasket sealing, so I went ahead and just skipped having that issue. Put RTV on each side of each gasket and sealed it up. And I also noticed that this is not a self-sealing V-band system like my other V-bands are. So what I did is put RTV on the cutout turn down where that V-band clamp is supposed to seal. So I utilized my aftermarket brackets that I made, a little customness going on. And what I did, welded my hangers on the cutout turn down. So it actually is incredibly solid this way. If I didn't use this setup, I would only have these hangers and then it'd be bolted at the long tube. So I needed some support closer to the center of the exhaust, and it made much more sense to use the already custom made brackets for this subframe. As you can see, it's done up on both sides. I couldn't really get rid of this RTV, but anyway, you know how it is. It's gonna work, it's gonna seal great. Now the only thing left to do is wire these up. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to cut them and modify them, make my own little Y harness, because as you know, since you already bought this kit, or if you didn't buy this kit, it comes with a Y harness where you have 2 female connectors and they come together into one connector that goes up to wherever your distribution is going to be at. So I'm going to modify that way I can run a little bit farther up, and then the Y will actually be in the car. So I want to test my cutouts now. I probably should have done that with them out of the car, but luckily that Y harness actually fit perfectly where it's at. I'm not going to run it because it's just really close to the exhaust where it's at. I'm literally going to use this for mock-up purposes. I'm not even going to use the car charger attachment. I'm going to cut this off. So let's go ahead and softly mock this up. I got the car on the battery charger. Let's go ahead and get it. So how you wire these up, you put that Y connector or that Y cable in place, connect the female ones to your cutouts, and then you have a male coming out of that Y cable. You put a female, they give you a bunch of cable, put the female, plug it into your controller here, your transmitter receiver, plug that in to the car charger. Now we're going to try it for the very first time. They should open. Let's see. Oh yeah. Get some close up and I hit close. Oh yeah. Yes sir. Now that we know that they work for sure, we're gonna go ahead and unwire everything, figure out where we're gonna drill into the car, put a grommet there, and run all our cables up to the front of the car. And I have a power distribution center behind the radio. Let me show you guys what that looks like. So here's the power distribution center. I actually already have all 6 of my circuits filled. So it's just a fused distribution center you can get on Amazon. I think maybe paid $20 for it. It works really, really good. But I did buy a 12 fused circuit power distribution block. So I'm gonna go ahead, throw that in, and I won't document how I do that. It's pretty simple. I'm just gonna swap it out, rewire everything, and hook this up, run them how I would run them permanently, and then we can button up this interior. All right guys, so we have this softly mocked up. I have the new power distribution center installed, and we want to test what size fuse we need to put in this, because the instructions don't exist. We don't have instructions in order to figure out what size fuse we need.
So get your meter, put it on DC amps, and obviously move your leads over to the designated slot. And I hooked everything up the way it's supposed to, except I left my power right here, which would go on to your positive, which would be in your fuse. And you put one lead on this, the other lead on a 12-volt source. And we can actually watch it whenever I'd say with the key fob to open. All right, so I got one lead on the positive. The other lead, Brandon's putting on positive at the power distribution center. So when I hit, so watch this, you're gonna hear, well, you might not hear it because you don't have a mic, but you're gonna watch this change, and that's when I'm gonna click open. Maxed out at 0.6 amps. So I'm gonna close it. Maxed out at 0.6 amps, so you want to go 1.5 times. So you want to at least have a 1 amp fuse on the circuit. I'm probably gonna go to 1.5 or 2 just to play it safe. And then we're gonna wire everything up. All right, guys, about to start it up for the first time. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and it was a great time putting this back in, and it was really nice to hear the car with the full exhaust and then open the cutouts. Anyway, what I want to say before we end off the video was change somebody's life for the better today. I love you, and love somebody that otherwise you wouldn't even talk to. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Peace.